Welcome to this presentation on due diligence, one of the new aspects of Flex2B, which will be covered during or in the cloud application. First of all, we are continuously trying to extend Flex2B, and the due diligence actually means the reasonable steps taken by a person or a party in order to satisfy a legal requirement, especially when buying or selling goods or produce or whatever, something. How is Flex2B dealing with due diligence? Well, first of all, there are some legal agreements between the Flex2B title owner and the producers, suppliers, packhouses, growers, and so on and so on. And they need to comply with certain documents and certifications, for instance, global gap, food safety procedures, and so on and so on. We will give a clearance per site, and the complete interface is web-driven. Where can you find these new enhancements in Flex2B? Mainly in the cloud application. It's enabled per plant. It is the responsibility of the plant owner to deliver all the documents. They are mainly PDF documents, and on certain type of certificates, documents, and so on, there are expiration dates which will be used to cover the due diligence. How was the construction done? A user who logs in belongs to one or multiple cold stores. And a cold store can be a pack house, can be a distribution center, can be a grower or a farm, etc. etc. Per cold store, a due diligence feature is enabled or not. In case it was not enabled, the classic creations will be, as you know it for years already, will be still active. But when it is enabled, growers should be picked from a validated list of growers that meet all requirements. A cold store on its side belongs to one entity, and we're going to cover it per entity. So several cold stores can belong to one entity, and that one entity can have one or multiple growers or producers on one hand. When it is a farm, it can be plots or parcels, etc. etc. Grower plots and parcels will now be called GPP. It comply for all mandatory document types, and actually per GPP, when you create one, a set of defaults will be inherited from the system, but you can actually make certain types mandatory or not. And a GPP should be active and the expiration date should be respected for them to be able to create produce, and that is that new produce creation option they have. So let's go to a graphical mode, and in the graphical mode we always start with logging in into Flex2B with our web account. Well, that web account is granted to one or multiple cold stores. Per cold store, yeah, or a cold store belongs to only one cold store entity or plant, in fact. And per plant or cold store entity, we can have multiple growers, plots, or parcels, and certifications and expiration dates in Flex2B currently. And let's go to a hands-on session to see what it means. So we are now switching to the demonstration part on the cloud application of Flex2B, and mainly when we type in the address bar the URL that is provided to us to log in into the Flex2B cloud interface, we're going to log in with a user ID and a password, and this is on my demonstration system, so I keep it rather simple. Trying to log in, and I can now click on the left top icon to get a pull down menu. I see over here something which still needs to be translated because it's fresh development, but it's called portals. I'm having my portal due diligence menu, and in this I'm having two things. I'm having my due diligence entity definition, and I'm having my due diligence uploads. Let's start with the former one, and it will start the due diligence, and I will get only a restricted list over here of plants where I belong to. So I've created 3 plants already, and I'm seeing that I see the Maserati plant as being contributed to me. For this one, I see all growers and plots, and for the growers and plots, I get an overview of already assigned documents on one hand, and on the other hand, the definitions, intended documents, and certificates. So let's get a little bit more on the screen. Sometimes the screens are a little bit small, so you can just switch sizes. And for me, this is rather a simple thing to do. If I'm taking over here Maserati and my grower plot mass 001, I can look to the definition of the needed documents. So I'm seeing over here the Flex2B certification test, which was automatically added to it. I'm gonna delete this one. And you right now see that the document is not needed anymore. Okay, let's make a new one. And we're gonna be very inventive, and we're gonna call it mass 003. Okay, didn't have, and I'm gonna call it the Maserati Quatre Porte. I think this is a model of Maserati. Quattro Porte. Seems that I've miswritten it. I can already give an expiration date if needed, and I can have a GGM number, which you can try to get at the global gap definition. The idea is already enter the global gap number over here, because this will be used in later processes. Just tap out of the line, and actually it will generate everything which is needed. Now let's see to the definition of the mass 003. Mass 003 has created a list of documents that can be needed for the due diligence. Now the first line, the dummy line, I'm going to delete it. It's not needed. And basically this is what it's all about. In the next section I will go to the entry of the documents itself. Part of the session I've logged in again to Flex2B Cloud, and we're going to use over here the menu again, portal, and then the due diligence part, and now I'm going to do the maintenance and the uploading of the documents. Remember from the former presentation that I was only having access to the Maserati plant. So I'm clicking over here. I'm gonna go to the grower or the plot session, and let's take that mass 03. You can always take, of course, a presentation, or better said, a grower or a plot. Say OK. And currently I'm having all my documents over here. So the idea behind all this is that we upload documents and that we will place them in a document or drop zone. So let's start with a global gap certificate that we will upload, and suppose this one is global gap ready until March 31st, for instance, 2017. So we're going to do the global gap thing, and the upload file, we're going to take it over here. You see the little paper clip. If you click on it, it will actually pop up a menu, and we're going to upload a global gap document, for instance. This is just demonstration, so don't go looking at any particular things. It uploads the file. That's basically it. Now let's take also a crop protection program, and that will be valid, for instance, until 2016 December 31st, and we're gonna upload it by clicking here on the paperclip, or we might just use our Explorer or Finder, whatever, and really do just a simple drag and drop thing. So let's take this file, which is also a PDF file, and just drag and drop it over here, this section, and it will be uploaded. Okay, so I'm having two documents. They will be ordered in expiration order, meaning that the newest document will be on top, the eldest will be on the bottom. And I can upload multiple documents of the same type. What I actually need to do is I need to say, for instance, for global gap, this one is current. Now that I've made this one current, never forget to go out of the line, because this is the way Flex2B works. As long when you are in a table style, a grid style, and you are actually staying in the row, nothing is changed until you leave it, or that you explicitly hit this button on top, the save button. Okay, the active reader has already seen that there is that button over here, which I clicked too fast, and it said evaluation not executed. After evaluating your certificates, it seems you still do not have all mandatory documents. Expiration date is edited to yesterday, and today is October 19th, recording this presentation, and you see behind the scenes that it made it to the 18th, which actually means that you cannot add dates anymore. So the most important thing is it will never allow you unless you manually force it to. But when you use this check button over here on the right, to the right of global gap, it will intentionally place it where it needs to be. And if you remember from the first part of the presentation, there is an expiration date and a mandatory field for food safety pack house, BRC, and so on and so on. So let's go take that one, and we say that it will expire in, for instance, June 2017, 30th of June 2017, and we will again do the drag and drop thing. Drop it over here, and actually it has uploaded it. So what do we have currently? We have a food safety pack house, a global gap certification, and a crop protection program. What I actually can do is now try to evaluate it, and it still says that the expiration date is edited to yesterday because not all mandatory documents have been uploaded, which is perfectly okay, because you actually need to indicate that this food safety pack house document is the current one. Now, when evaluating for the expiration date, and we're going to do it again, it will actually look to all mandatory documents, and it will take the youngest expiration date of the mandatory documents to put it in the expiry. So let's click on it. And what does it actually do? Oh, we did not leave the row. Yeah, you see what the behavior was. In the backhand side, it was not registered as being the current because we were still in that row. And now it has evaluated the document structure for a new expiration date, and that one was calculated on the 31st of March 2017. So the youngest expiration date, of all mandatory fields. We want to assign it. Yes, we assign it. And actually, this MAS 003 became active. So far, so good for maintaining all expiration documents and due diligence documents and certificates. When we come back to the due diligence upload and maintenance part, I actually have a few special things in my controls. So we have already explained how the drop zone is working. What I actually can do is I can change the original file names. So xtdoc1.pdf, I could say food safety 2016-17, for instance, and this was our global gap 2016-2017 document, and this was our flow something else, crop flow chart contamination, whatever, which actually can make it a little bit more readable. So never forget to get out of the line to save it. And over here I can say, yeah, affected on, or yeah, affected on October 19, 2016. So just go out of the line or hit the save button, it's the same. So I see over here for food safety, no document command, but when I click on global gap, I just see what I've entered. What I actually can do, you see that vertical blue bar over here. I can change dynamically the sizes between both things. It's up to you. I can on top enlarge or make it smaller. I can hit this button to delete one, but I can also, in the show button on an active line, click on that zoom, and when I click on the zoom, I will actually get the visualization of my document over here in the bottom. I can do that for my crop contamination flow as well, and so on and so on. I can, if I have the correct plugin, and the best plugin to use is the plugin for Adobe PDF. I can turn things, download things, print things, and even put other elements like bookmarks in the PDF. I can actually zoom it out, zoom it in, or make it full size. This is actually what the due diligence upload and maintenance module can offer you. Just as a last thing, if this active flag is not checked on, it should be checked to be able to use it in the produce creations modules. The impact on Flex2B for the creations for a produce order and the due diligence documents that we just uploaded. I've taken a produce order, I've attributed some characteristics to it, and right now I'm gonna go into the details section. So I hit this button over here to request myself a new SSCC number. I'm gonna go for material. Let's just see what list of materials that we do have. This is not a good one. I hope that I can use this one as material, because there might be some restrictions to that material on it. And basically this is where it all changes. I'm having over here a combo form, so I can click on it and I see the plots or the growers which are active and which meet all needed mandatory documents. So let's go for that quattroporte, and I can click through and it will automatically save. The same ID has been embedded in the bulk creation. So when we are in a system which is due diligence restricted, I can only take a selected list of growers and plots. So let's go to my bulk creations. Let's take the same material. It says 85 as a quantity. I need to indicate a pack make of it. Take the pack make what you need to do. And in the bulk creation, you now see two grower or grower plot parcel forms. The second one is a combo form. Depending whether your due diligence restrictions are enabled or not for that cold store, I can enter over here a free form for the grower, or I can go to the combo form and select the one that I need. Let's take the Levante, and let's say that we need to make 3 stock units out of it. We generate the SSCC codes. It has added them, and we now see that the first one was a quattroporte, the next 3 ones are Levantes. So the creation of stock for due diligence restricted cold stores, the grower and the plots are now only selectable from those who meet all mandatory certification and documents. That's all it is. Thanks for attending and hope to hear you soon.